afternoon, everyone, and welcome to News 3 Now live at 4 on this Wednesday. How's your garden hanging in there?
Probably a little parched right about now, needing a cold drink like the rest of us.
And Lisa Briggs from the Bruce Company is going to be along to take your garden questions live. We'll let you know when to call in. That's coming up within this next hour. But first, here's what's making news on this Wednesday. The heat is on, and it looks to get even hotter. If you can believe it, we'll have your forecast.
Hottest since 2012, hottest weather here in Madison. A standoff in Beloit has ended peacefully after several hours. Our Madeline O'Neill is live in Rock County with the latest.
And the notorious drug lord El Chapo has been sentenced to life plus 30 years. We'll share the latest from New York.
Let's take a look outside today on this steamy Wednesday. Boy, I've been thinking about these guys. This is early season football practice in Whitewater.
Yeah, it's too hot.
Coaches are smart these days.
Yeah,
they know how to deal with it, but just, boy,
you know,
that's dedication.
You mentioned 2012. It was 100 degrees on this date back then.
Wow.
So it could get worse. And we are going up. Dana Fulton's in the backyard. We'll let you get inside.
I would like to right now. I'll start to get inside it in a second. It's warm outside right now, also very muggy currently. The dew point's just creeping up for us. We are a little cloudy in Madison, as we do have a few showers and thunderstorms starting to creep on in, most of them staying towards that southwest corner of the state. We have some showers right now in Grant County, and then some stronger thunderstorms well to the south. Also seeing a few showers in the southeast corner of Dane County, towards Jefferson County and into Rock County. Right now we do have some showers and thunderstorms moving in. At about 87 currently in Madison, 90 in Janesville, but 82 in Platteville. Notice a little cooler to the west where the rain comes through. It helps zap down the heat just a little bit. Unfortunately, we don't have any of that sliding into Madison. We're going to be in the mid-80s for a little longer, and then once the sun finally sets, we'll fall through the 80s, landing though only in the really mid-70s for overnight lows. It'll be mild and muggy to start the day tomorrow, and temps just continue to climb as we head towards the weekend. We'll take a closer look, of course, at your Thursday, Friday, and Saturday forecasts in just a few minutes. Right now, as far as construction is concerned, I know yesterday we were looking around Beloit. Thankfully, things clear there around 39 to 90 right now. In fact, the only spot really throughout southern Wisconsin that we're seeing those major delays along the Beltline. Usual construction spots also seeing some slowdowns. About 26 minutes to get from Janesville to the Beltline. From Sauk City to Middleton will take you 16 minutes, and then to get from Sun Prairie to downtown should be about a 15-minute drive for you this evening on this very warm and muggy evening for us. It's quite sticky outside right now, unfortunately.
All right, thank you, Dana.
Concerts on the Square is a go tonight.
Oh, that's right.
It is. It is. Should be just fine with these storm chances.
All right, we'll see you in a few minutes. All week we've been letting you know about cooling centers available for people who need a place to get away from the heat.
But just as important is making sure that you're checking in on your elderly friends and neighbors to make sure they're doing okay in weather like this. Jamie Perez spoke with a couple of organizations here who do welfare checks on elderly patients who may not have friends or family people available to check in on them, so they need a little bit of a safety net.
Yeah, and that's why it actually is really important to make sure that everyone is checked in on when it gets this hot out. A couple of businesses I spoke with today said they're glad they're doing so because they've actually run into several problems that needed to be addressed right away. The people over at Sale, who have about 500 elderly patients, said they've reached out to all of them this week to make sure that they're doing okay. They've actually encountered several people where they had to go to their homes to help them out with cooling their homes. It's something as simple as a phone call that could really make a difference for our elders this summer.
We even had one member call us back to let us know she didn't know how to turn her air conditioning on. So it was a great opportunity for one of our member volunteers to support our mission with helping other members helping each other. And he went over and walked her through how to turn the air on and make sure it was all working correctly.
While most of the elderly they have checked in on have been okay, the one or two that do need help make those welfare checks worthwhile. Now, we all know a couple of elderly people that we could check in on, whether that's a friend or a family member, coworker. It's always good to make sure we're all doing okay and have a place to stay cool in case we need it.
You gotta stick together in this weather.
Exactly.
And there's a lot more to come, too, so it's a long, prolonged
That's the problem. It's day after day after day.
Right.
So make sure you keep checking in on people.
Yeah. Jamie, thank you.
Thank you, Jamie. Beloit Police are crediting its tactical team for its role in peacefully ending a standoff about 10 hours after the situation began.
They say a 29-year-old victim is safe and a Rockford man with a violent history is in jail this afternoon. Madeline O'Neill is live in Beloit in the 2200 block of Burton Street where this all began. Maddie?
Hi there. This street right near Woodman's is where the woman's apartment is located, and the standoff took place today. Now, it's clear of emergency vehicles we saw earlier, but police say they're still investigating the apartment to figure out what happened inside during the standoff. What we do know is 32-year-old Alexander Duke is in custody, previously wanted on 3 felony charges of kidnapping, sexual assault, and recklessly endangering safety. Beloit police say that last charge comes from Duke pointing a gun at the woman in this case and firing it off next to her head. She and Duke have had an intimate relationship in the past. All of that is why police say it was important to get a tactical team involved with Beloit and Janesville officers and negotiators who de-escalated the situation by speaking with Duke on the phone and getting him to peacefully surrender.
I really have to credit the approach of our initial responding officers and supervisors in assessing this and taking the approach that they did versus trying to just immediately make contact in a more aggressive fashion and create a situation that nobody really wants to have. So I think the way they approached it was critical to how it ended.
Police say they don't believe this was a hostage situation at this time, but they're interviewing the victim to see if any potential crimes were committed today. They say she doesn't have any visible injuries. The original call came in at about 12:50 this morning from a community member who recognized Duke. Beloit police say they're grateful for this call because they've been searching for him, asking for the community's help since about late March, and they're not the only department. Rockford authorities have been searching for Duke for a crime there as well. Now Duke will be heading to the Rock County Jail.
Glad it turned out peacefully. Madeline O'Neill live in Beloit. Thank you.
Driving through Middleton will be much easier. University Avenue is back open after months of construction work. The $1.5 million project wrapped up later than originally planned due to weather delays after a wet spring. City officials hope that new left turn lanes at Parmenter Street and University Avenue will cut down on congestion and reduce crashes in the area.
4 Republicans and an independent joined House Democrats in approving a resolution against President Trump's tweets. Democrats are celebrating passage of that resolution condemning President Trump for telling 4 lawmakers of color to go back from where they came. Republicans decried the claims of racism and called the vote a very political stunt. Now, Texas Congressman Al Green has introduced articles of impeachment against the president.
This is a bifurcated process. He was found guilty yesterday. I supported that. Today, we take a punishment.
With all the respect in the world for Mr. Green, we have 6 committees that are working on following the facts in terms of any abuse of power, obstruction of justice, and the rest.
We can be doing so much more, and we should be doing so much better.
President Trump is working to frame the squad as representing all Democrats, tweeting they are now the top most visible members of the House Democrats who are now wedded to this bitterness and hate. And he hinted that he'll keep up his attacks at a campaign rally this evening.
The Mexican drug lord known as El Chapo was sentenced today. Before being handed a life sentence with no parole, Joaquin El Chapo Guzman addressed the court. Through an interpreter, the 62-year-old described his stay at a Manhattan jail as torture. He says he was forced to drink unsanitary water and denied access to fresh air and sunlight. The judge was unfazed and ordered Guzman to pay the government $12.6 billion in restitution.
This sentence is significant and it is well deserved. It means that never again will Guzman pour poison over our borders, making billions while innocent lives are lost.
Defense lawyers are planning to appeal. They say Guzman did not receive a fair trial. El Chapo was convicted in February on multiple conspiracy charges linked to drug trafficking. He will likely be sent to the Supermax prison in Colorado, where no one has escaped since it opened in 1994. It houses some of the nation's most dangerous inmates, including the Boston Marathon bomber and the 1993 World Trade Center bomber.
Well, Madison Magazine's Summer Restaurant Week is right around the corner.
And if you order salmon next week, chances are it came from Sitka Salmon. We'll talk with the owner of this ocean-to-table seafood company, and we'll talk a little bit more about Restaurant Week when Live at 4 continues.
The Coon Creek
Well, when it comes to streaming services, Netflix passwords are the most shared.
Research analysts say about 14% of Netflix users are entering a password that belongs to someone outside their household. 11% of Hulu users are doing the same thing. Amazon Prime Video users appear to do the least amount of password sharing. Stocks closed lower for a second straight day as trade talks with China are slowing down. The Dow Industrials fell 115 points, ending the day at 27,219. The NASDAQ Composite Index gave up 37. The S&P 500 was off 19. Well, it's that time of year and the summer. The foodies look forward to it, Madison.
Yeah, why cook when it's Summer
Absolutely.
Restaurant Week, sponsored by Madison Magazine? It kicks off on Sunday. John Clark from Sitka Salmon is here with what we can look forward to this coming week. Hi, good to see you.
Great to be back in the studio. Thank you.
Tell us a little bit about Sitka Salmon.
Sure, I'd love to. We operate a community-supported fishery, meaning that whatever our collection of small boat fishermen in Southeast Alaska, whatever they're catching in season, we home deliver once a month. So it's direct from boat to doorstep.
And how are you involved in Restaurant Week?
We're a sponsor of Restaurant Week. So we have 5 restaurants that are plating our seafood. So if you if you haven't made up your mind about signing up for our community-supported fishery, hopefully this will push you over the edge. The 5 restaurants plating our seafood include Fresco, Osteria Papavero, Harvest, the Fluno Center, and I'm forgetting one more.
It'll come to you.
Yeah.
So you normally don't sell wholesale like that?
No. So this is unique for us to have our seafood offered and plated by these wonderful kitchens. Rare Steakhouse was the other one.
Okay.
I don't want to forget. Thank you to those restaurants for supporting us. So this is unique.
So what are you making here?
Today I have a poke bowl, which originates from Hawaii and usually involves steamed rice, chopped veggies, and sushi grade fish. Lucky for us, Sitka Salmon Chair Salmon is sushi grade. So you take your Sitka salmon fillet out of the fridge or out of the freezer, let it thaw overnight in the fridge. We flash freeze everything up in Sitka. That locks in that fresh caught taste, stops any of the cellular degradation. You get this great fillet. And once that's thawed, you take off the skin, debone it, cube it up, add a little marinade to it. This is just a little sesame seed oil, sesame seed, and garlic, ginger, and let
You've
that
got
sit
your
for about,
chopped salmon in that bowl.
Yep, it's in that bowl right there. There we go. Let it marinate for about 40 minutes. In the fridge, steam your rice while you're doing that. My wife went to the East Side Farmers Market, picked up some seasonal veggies. Take your seasonal veggies, chop them up, and add it all into one bowl. So you take your rice, add it in there.
Put in whatever you like.
Yeah, the green beans, the radishes. You got to have everything in there. And
no cooking?
And no cooking.
Which is perfect for this week.
Right. With this heat, right? Who wants to be cooking in there? It's simple, it's healthy. I call it the Know Your Farmer, Know Your Fisherman poke bowl.
So is this similar, is Sitka Salmon similar to like a CSA
Absolutely.
Community share for sustainable fish?
It's the exact same model and the exact same benefit. So when you enroll in our CSF, you're directly supporting small-scale fishermen in this case instead of your small-scale farmers who provide those great veggies. We provide the highest quality seafood, and it has all that socioeconomic benefit of that money going to those traditional fishing communities and keeping really the best stewards of the resource on the water.
And this is very regulated, this fishing industry in Alaska.
Absolutely. I think Alaska is probably the envy of the world for its fisheries management. So absolutely, you can have trust that this is the highest quality, and we can even tell you the fishing vessel that it came off of.
Now, is this the season to sign up for it, or what is the season for
we are
wild
still
salmon?
in our 2019 fishing season. So if you go to sitkasalmonshares.com, you can look at our different share sizes, and you can still sign up for 2019.
And it's more than just salmon.
More than salmon. We have plenty of whitefish and crustaceans. So again, at sitkasalmonshares.com, the shares will tell you what fish you're getting, and that changes month to month throughout the fishing season.
And you could try it out beforehand. It said 5 restaurants.
That's
during
right.
Restaurant Week. Looking forward to it. Thanks for being with us today. Madison Magazine Restaurant Week is July 21st through the 26th. You can enjoy 50 restaurants offering 3-course meals starting at $25. Visit MadisonRestaurantWeek.com for a list of all the restaurants and their menus.
Best time of the year. There's more to come at 4 when we come back. A new way that doctors are approaching pancreatic cancer. How they think it could help improve the survival rate.
And tonight at 6, a local magazine says they're the victim of repeated vandalism. We'll share more on that story coming up at 6.
It's
Take a look at this. Meet Ginormica. I love the name. A 200-pound, 20-foot-long python that lives at the Emerald Coast Zoo in Crestview, Florida. The snake is more than double the average length of reticulated pythons. In fact, Ginormica could someday be the world's largest python. The Guinness World Record was set in 2011 by Missouri's Medusa, who measured 25 feet 2 inches long. As of now, Ginormica isn't long enough to break the record, but that could change sometime in the future because Ginormica isn't full grown yet.
Those names are great.
Ginormica.
Hope they have good fencing. Really good fencing.
That's a lot of snake.
Yeah, that's incredible.
Oh my gosh.
I don't like snakes.
They don't faze me.
Me neither, really. They're kind of fascinating.
They just kind of do their thing.
Walking through the woods, don't you get startled?
Yes.
Yes. But then I'm like, all right, you were here first, snake. I get it.
20-foot python might be a different story.
Penny and I would be snacks for a 20-foot.
Absolutely. All right. Well, if you're heading out in the woods,
yes.
bring water.
Bring lots and lots of water, and maybe try to stay in the shade of the woods if you can, because it's pretty warm outside and very, very muggy right now. And we're just kind of hitting the peak of this heat wave over the next few days. We'll take a look at your forecast right after the break.
It's
Now, we do have a few clouds outside right now, otherwise just hot and muggy for us currently. In Madison, we're at 87, those dew points at 70 right now with the breeze coming from the west-southwest. We also have some showers and thunderstorms just to the east of Dane County into Jefferson County. Also seeing a few showers in Rock and Walworth counties. We do have a little bit of rain in the edge of Grant County. Also, this is all along a front that is just crossing over the middle of the state. Our unsettled pattern continues. We have the chance for a few more showers through the rest of tonight, and then early on Thursday. Otherwise, Thursday and Friday, just hot outside. Again, 87 in Madison, but notice what happens when we get just a little bit of rain, closer to 73 in Dubuque. Those showers really help zap the heat away for a little bit. About 82 in Milwaukee along the lake. Dew points, though, everywhere sitting close to 70 right now. So even the places where the temperatures are a little cooler it's still quite muggy outside. So overnight, looking at a partly cloudy sky. Heading into tomorrow morning, it does seem like most of the heavy rain chances will stay to the north. That's the good news, but we do still have the chance for some showers early in the day. Otherwise, in the afternoon, we get that sun back. It's going to be hot outside for Thursday and for Friday. Our temperatures really peak for us for Friday and into Saturday, and then we finally get a little bit of a relief in the heat for the end of the weekend and for next week. Overnight, a few clouds outside. Temperatures will barely fall to the mid to upper 70s for our overnight lows. So it is going to be very mild and very muggy for early tomorrow morning. That's certainly not good news for our ACs. They're going to be running nonstop overnight. By Thursday morning, most of those rain chances will be staying to the north, but we do still have the chance to see some showers early in the day. In the afternoon, those high temps will be in the mid 90s. By Friday, temperatures again only falling to the upper 70s for those overnight lows. And then we're looking at the mid to upper 90s for afternoon highs. A strong breeze coming from the south, just sending that warm air in our direction. Temperatures will be high. Heat index readings also high for us. Tomorrow afternoon, plan on it feeling close to 100. And then by Friday afternoon, it really looks like we're going to cross well over that triple-digit line throughout the area. If you can stay inside Friday afternoon, I would certainly recommend it because our heat index readings, again, climbing quite a bit. As far as our heat index, what does it actually mean when you step outside? Anywhere from 90 to 105, certainly uncomfortable, but then we start looking at the possibility for some heat-related illnesses. I'm talking heat exhaustion or even heat stroke. Once we start getting from 105 even up to 130, that heat exhaustion much more likely, and heat stroke becomes possible, even for healthy individuals stepping outside. And that's what we're looking at for Friday. Our heat index readings climbing quite a bit for us. We do already have a heat advisory that has been issued, not in effect yet for most of southern Wisconsin. Starts at noon tomorrow and goes all the way until 11 p.m. on Friday when we start to see a bit of a drop off in those temperatures. A warning now instead of a watch for the southwest corner of the state. Grant County and Crawford County included in that, goes from noon until about 7 o'clock Friday evening. So everyone advised, of course, to stay inside if you can. A flash flood watch is in effect from tonight through Thursday morning. The concern with those shower chances coming on up on top of all the rain we've already seen. Just a good idea if you're anywhere from Grant County on north through La Crosse and Black River Falls to be very aware of the roads, or if you're living near a creek or one of the streams, just keep an eye on things overnight and early tomorrow. Alert day is still in the forecast for the rest of the week into Sunday because of how hot it's going to be and how dangerous it could be in the afternoons with those heat index readings climbing right on up. Overnight low temperatures, mid to upper 70s. It's going to be very mild in a kind of bad way and very muggy outside. Again, the chance for some thunderstorms coming through tomorrow, planning on highs in the mid 90s, hot and humid, and those heat index readings into the triple-digit mark. Mid-90s for Thursday and Friday. By Saturday, we drop a little bit into the lower 90s, but it's not really until Sunday. We've taken that alert day out for Sunday afternoon at least, because temperature-wise we'll be much closer to average in the middle 80s, and that's where we'll stay heading into next week. We finally get rid of this heat wave. In the mid to low 80s is going to feel much more comfortable outside, and that's going to come along with a nice stretch of some sunshine for us. So these isolated thunderstorms, of course, not bringing a lot of rain. I know Susan had mentioned earlier that the garden's a little dry right now. I tried to put some grass seed down, probably not the greatest idea because it's very dry for us, and these showers that are popping up, they're just not bringing a lot of moisture.
And they don't break the heat very much either.
They get a little bit of a reprieve, and then our temps climb right back on up.
The humidity that gives a little extra boost.
A little bit of a boost.
This is dangerous, so be careful out there.
Absolutely.
All right, Dana.
Thank you, Dana.
For people diagnosed with pancreatic cancer, the prognosis is often dismal.
But now researchers in Pittsburgh are testing a promising new method to treat the disease.
Lisa Washington introduces us to a patient taking part in the study.
Darlene Basola was stunned last year when she learned she had pancreatic cancer.
Shocking, because I've always been healthy.
The mother of 3, who was married to her high school sweetheart, made a decision early on to fight her diagnosis. She enrolled in a clinical trial underway at UPMC without any hesitation.
No, none whatsoever. When you're diagnosed with stage 3, you want something to happen, for the better.
Before the trial began, Darlene received the standard treatment of chemotherapy and radiation. Then, in February, she began the first of 8 experimental treatments where doctors bring a catheter up into the pancreas.
We're able to bathe the tumor with chemotherapy directly to the tumor without having to go through the bloodstream.
Dr. Paula Novelle says the results from this trial are promising, especially since pancreatic cancer usually isn't diagnosed until it's already far advanced.
We're seeing survival from 16 to 23 months and counting.
Doctors say Darlene has had remarkable success.
Her tumor is moving away from the blood vessels and vital structures. We're absolutely not only pleased, but amazed with her results at this point.
I have been feeling good my entire process. I haven't had any ill effects like nauseas. The only effect I've ever had is fatigue.
Doctors will continue to monitor Darlene's progress. Meanwhile, they hope more patients will consider participating in the trial. Lisa Washington, CBS News, Pittsburgh.
Well, that's very exciting and promising. 30 hospital groups are taking part in this new study.
Well, you're trying to come up with something different for dinner that won't heat up the kitchen?
When we come back, our registered dietitian, Julie Andrews, the gourmet RD, is here with some new recipes from her book for you to try. That's when Live at 4 continues.
This is a live look at the west side of Madison from our Channel 3 tower. Kind of a little hazy out there, but hot and humid. And as the temperatures soar, we tend to eat lighter meals.
With some tasty suggestions, we once again welcome the gourmet RD, registered dietitian Julie Andrews, who brought some more recipes from her book, The Mind Diet. plan and cookbook. Hi, Julie. Good to see you.
Thanks for having me again.
So remind us what the MIND diet is.
So the MIND diet is a combination of Mediterranean and DASH diets, which DASH is for lowering blood pressure. And it's really helpful overall for health, but it's very specific about helping brain health. So preserving cognition and brain function.
Oh, that's great.
With very specific ingredients.
And good food comes out.
And delicious food. That's the best part.
What do we have here today?
So I guess we can start with dessert. So this is a dark chocolate avocado pudding. So avocado is really heart healthy, which is one of the things that's important for brain health is the things that are good for heart health as well. So this has dark chocolate chips that have been melted, mixed with 2 avocados, a little maple syrup, some vanilla and milk, and you just whirl it in your blender and have this amazing mousse. And then we top it with berries, which are one of the MIND diet superfoods.
So these are foods that help prevent dementia and Alzheimer's?
Exactly. Yep.
I would have never thought to do that.
Oh,
Can you taste the avocado?
Not really. It's just very chocolatey.
Oh, interesting.
It's very chocolatey. You like that,
which is a good thing.
All right.
So then for breakfast, this is one of the recipes. We have a homemade granola that's really easy to make. It's just about 5 or 6 ingredients. And I use that to make parfaits in the morning just because it's really quick and easy. You can do this ahead and then make your parfait with blueberries and oranges and yogurt. So this is just oats, some nuts, which are another MIND diet superfood, and then a little coconut oil, some cinnamon, which is really delicious, and we bake it up and serve it with our parfait.
Because granola can be very high in fat and very high in calories. Oh, thank you. So
and
this is a healthier version. Yeah.
Exactly. We don't know what's in it. So, and I love this because it gets those nice clusters, which is what I really like about granola.
It's really delicious.
The almond and cinnamon is my favorite combination. So that's really good and easy to make.
And just plain yogurt?
With some vanilla yogurt?
This is just plain vanilla, or it's vanilla yogurt that's Greek because it has a little more protein. Yeah.
Okay.
So then we have fish tacos. Who doesn't love a really delicious fish taco? And again, fish is one of those things that's good for the brain, especially if we use a fish that's higher in omega-3s. Whitefish does have some, but if we boost it up and use some salmon, which I have lots of salmon recipes in the book, then we're gonna get those omega-3s. So we're serving it on corn tortillas, and then we have some avocado. And then this is just a little bit of a slaw to put on top of that.
Move this closer to you. Yeah, just put a little olive oil.
A little olive oil. And then we have some fresh lime juice that we squeeze in there, and then just a little salt and pepper. We can just toss that in there, and then we mix that together, and then we'll go ahead and put it right on top of our fish tacos.
That couldn't be easier.
Super easy.
And how do you prepare the fish?
Great question. So the fish is really easy too. So you can either bake it or fry it in the skillet, but it just has a little chili powder, smoked paprika, and cumin.
That's it.
So super easy, and I use that spice mixture in a lot of things just because it's so flavorful.
And gives it a nice little crust on the top of the fish.
Yes.
Oh, these look delicious.
So then these are carrot cake walnut muffins. So they have carrots in them, which are a mind healthy food because they do have beta carotene, which we know is really good for the brain. And then we have lots of wholesome ingredients like whole grains, oats. We have those walnuts in there, some pineapple, some coconut. Really easy to make, and then again, something that you can grab and go that's good for the brain.
So it doesn't have to be difficult to make.
Not at all, and that's what I love about it, is that it's not a diet. It's just some suggestions on ways to get nuts in, berries, fish with omega-3s, different vegetables. So it's really not a diet, it's just a plan that gives you those recommendations to help you preserve your brain health.
And these are the same recommendations that help lower blood pressure, right? Because the two are connected.
Yes, they're very similar. So a lot of the things that we consider heart healthy are also good for the brain.
And Mediterranean diet, I mean, that's #1 on a lot of people's lists.
It is, very much. And this is very similar to that. It's just, I give specific recommendations for how many berries to eat and how often to eat nuts in order to get the best from it for brain health.
Oh, that's great to know.
There's a formula?
There is a formula.
Of course there is.
You have to read the book.
Where is your book available?
You can get it in Barnes & Noble or on Amazon.
All right, the MIND Diet Plan and Cook. Julie, great to see you again.
Great to see you.
I'm going to steal one of these from you.
Yes, please do.
All right.
Thanks, Julie.
Well, how's your garden growing? Does it need some help? You've come to the right place.
When we come back, it's time to get your plant and garden questions answered. Lisa Briggs is standing by live at the Bruce Company in Middleton. Oh, what a pretty picture that is. The number to call is 270-9933. Call now, and Lisa will take your calls when we come back.
No accidents to report right now, which is always good news. Of course, things actually look overall fairly okay. The Beltline seeing the usual delays right around Fish Hatchery Road, a little bit of a slowdown westbound, but eastbound those speeds reduced near Seminole Highway to about 30 miles per hour, and then the slowdown stays with us down to 14 miles per hour until you get to John Nolan, and then things steadily start to pick back up. Near Middleton for 12 northbound, we're seeing significant delays there. Wanakee, also a little bit of traffic, the usual traffic though on 113. From Janesville to the Beltline will take you 27 minutes. Sauk City to Middleton, about a 16-minute drive this evening, and then from Sun Prairie to downtown, about 17 minutes. That's a quick look at traffic.
Dana, thank you. 50 years after the Apollo 11 mission to the moon, an illuminating tribute launched in D.C. A life-size image of the Saturn V rocket was projected onto the Washington Monument last night. The display will adorn the monument for the next few days. The Saturn V is the tallest and most powerful rocket ever built. Isn't that cool?
That is so cool.
And even the steam coming out of it.
Yeah, that's amazing.
It really is great. Well, just like us, your garden might be feeling a little parched right now. We're taking your plant and garden questions today.
The number to call if you have a question is 270-9933. Let's see, we've got 3 lines open today. Lisa Briggs is live at the Bruce Company to take your calls. Hi, Lisa.
Hey there, you guys beating the heat?
How about you? Staying cool over there?
Yeah, some parts of the building are out of AC though, so they're a little bit miserable.
And do plants sort of go into like hibernation this time of year when it gets like this?
There are a lot of plants that will go dormant when the heat gets like this. So we're talking about like cyclamen or bleeding hearts, but a lot of other things, especially plants in containers, will really slow down their growth rate, will really sort of use less water. So if things are looking wilty, make sure you check the soil before you assume that it's a water issue, because it might just be the heat.
All right, we go to the phones now, and we will start with Judy from Lone Rock. Hi, Judy.
Good afternoon.
Hi.
My question is about my rhubarb patch. It's about 20 years old. The last couple of years, the stalks have been really spindly. Would digging up the roots and spreading them out help?
Yeah, I would, Judy, not at this time of year, but in the early spring, right when they start to emerge, dig those clumps up and like use a sharp spade and cut them maybe in quarters and then spread them out. You probably won't get a lot of production next year, but it should improve the size of your harvest for the year after.
Okay, what about the lawns this time of year? Should you be watering them or just let them go?
When you look at your lawns this time of year, you have to make a decision. Do you want your lawn to go dormant or do you want to water it? And if you're going to water it, you have to commit to that. So good inch of water once a week. If you let it go dormant, then you have to let that happen, trusting that when we get to like late August or early September and the rain comes back and the temperature's cool, it'll green right back up. Bluegrass is meant to do that. It doesn't mind. It won't hurt it in the long run, but you got to make a choice.
But we did have that one year where it was so dry that it stopped. I mean, the patches of the lawn just died.
That's right.
Yes, and when it cooled off, it came back.
Yeah, that's one perk of this heat. You don't have to mow as much.
Yeah, that is true.
And we actually need some rain, right?
I think that we do. We haven't had anything, significant in about a week or 8 days. And it doesn't look like we're going to get anything today. So I'm hoping that we get some rain, although part of me wishes that the temperatures would moderate first, because the storms, when they're that severe, there's a lot of runoff and not a lot of moisture really soaking into the soil.
All right, let's go to Connie in Janesville. Hi, Connie, what's your question?
I have a hibiscus tree, and I've been using this number 8 yard and garden stuff, spraying it. And I just wanted to know, how many times should I spray it with this? And should I be putting some kind of a fertilizer around the bottom?
So this hibiscus, is it a tropical one that goes in the house for the winter, or is it like a rose of Sharon?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's a rose of Sharon. So it's planted outside.
It's planted outside, and I've been using this.
Okay.
I've been keeping the Japanese beetle bugs off, but I want to know how many times I have to spray with this.
You can spray the 8. I would wait until you actually see the beetles around, and then I think you can spray like every 4 or 5 days to keep them off.
Oh, okay, maybe I've been spraying too much.
8 does a really good job. Yeah, 8 does a really good job of keeping them off. Also, if you want to go more organic, you can use a product called Captain Jack's. But Captain Jack's, the beetles will eat it, and then they stop eating and die they are not killed immediately like they are with a insecticide like 8. So it'll still kill them in the long run, and they'll stop eating. It's just a different way that it works.
All right,
but either one is great.
Okay, let's go to Stacy here in Madison. Hi, Stacy.
Hi there. I have a question about my hydrangea. I have 3 hydrangea plants that are very healthy. They've gotten huge. They're a good 4 or 5 feet in diameter, but they never bloom. I've tried various fertilizers, so I'm looking for suggestions.
So what color are the flowers supposed to be?
They were blue initially when I got them, but they started turning pink in the last couple years. And then I've just gotten nothing the last 2 years.
So about, I don't know, 10 or 15 years ago, there was the new hydrangea on the market called Endless Summer. And it blooms on old wood and new wood, but not super reliably. So if that's the one you have, what you want to really do is go back to the old method of doing a little bit of winter protection. So once the ground is frozen, pile a little bit of mulch on the crown of the plant, leave all the stems up, pile some mulch on the crown to protect some of those low buds, and then cut it back in the spring when you see what actually died, and see if that will help.
Okay. All right.
Okay. Sounds great. I'll give it a try.
Thanks
Thank
for
you.
the call.
Thanks for calling.
Okay.
Let's go to Larry now. Hi, Larry.
Hi there.
What's your question?
I'm calling from Freeport, Illinois. I just had a...
Go ahead.
And I just had a question about, I've collected some rhubarb seeds. When is a good time to plant the rhubarb seeds?
Oh my, okay. So I think that the rhubarb seeds, what you're going to want to do is start them in the winter so that you get some growth and then plant them out. And it's going to be a while before you get a crop, because it really has to have that root be vigorous enough to send out some stems. But I would say you're going to want to start that early in the winter. I would also check online, because I don't know off the top of my head. Some seeds will need some special treatment, either scarification or stratification, which is they need a little dormancy period, or they need a little bit of scraping. So check online, and it should tell you if you have to do any extra methods like soaking them or keeping them in the refrigerator for a few weeks before you plant them.
All right, very good. Let's try to get Sonia in Baraboo in here quickly. Sonia, what's your question?
I just wanted to know what the colored plants are behind her.
Which one? This? This is a croton, so this is a tropical plant. This, the one that I was holding, this is a zinnia, so this is a flowering annual. And this is an anthurium. This is also a tropical plant. So it's probably one of those 3. That's
Pretty nice office that you have there, Lisa.
It's not bad.
All right, thanks everyone for calling in. We are out of time. Lisa, we'll see you soon. And we'll have a final check of your forecast coming up. The Coon Creek be careful going outside. It's hot out there.
Really, yes. Right now it's hot, and we do have some showers and thunderstorms also. If we could go ahead and pop over to Max 2, of course, right now we're looking at our Doppler track. And that severe weather outlook actually heading towards the end of the week. There we go. Our Doppler track does have some showers for us stretching over along the eastern edge. And then, of course, the rain still in the southwest corner around Grant County. So we'll continue to keep an eye on that rain coming through. Not expecting much rainfall this evening, but we do have the chance for some thunderstorms overnight. It's 87 in Madison right now. It feels, of course, closer to 92. That's our heat index reading in Madison. 93 is what we're at in Janesville. And it's just going to continue to climb for tomorrow, for Friday and Saturday.
Going to Country on the Square tonight, bring water.
Yes, lots and lots of water.
Dana, thank you. We'll be right back. Oh, I thought we dropped this. All right.
Okay.
Coming up tomorrow, we'll find out what's happening in the 608 this upcoming sweltering weekend.
And nutritionist Donna Weihoffen will be here. She has some great pasta recipes perfect for these hot summer days. Got to get Donna in, too.
Yep.